So as I'm looking at this video, I already watched this, by the way. And I'll tell you what, my memories of 2000X or 2002, sometimes Dan goes with 2000X. I interchange the two, 2002, 2000X. It's significant in a way because my father passed away around the same year that I started buying all those figures. Most of the ones you see on the bottom shelf, except for Eldor and some of the ones up there. So you'll see the 2000X figures. I also have a couple of the statues and Hordak. I had to get the Four Horsemen Hordak. So Dan went to Comic Con. I didn't go. I had real life stuff to worry about. Boxes and things, moving to a new place. How fun. But I'll tell you what. I guess for me, it's like either I get stuff or I don't. Now I sworn off Mattel. Mondo is not with that rule. It's an exception to the rule. So if I wanted to buy something from Mondo, that's okay because it's not directly Mattel. It's indirect, and Mondo can make whatever figures they want, as many as they want. Um, I think some people have had problems with Mondo too, but aside from the high prices. But if I wanted to buy from Mondo, okay. Mondo is not Mattel, so maybe it does not go against the rule. If Mondo pulls some bullshit, then I'll swear off of Mondo too. But the real reason I don't really go for Mondo He-Man, Skeletor stuff is because it's just very expensive. Now, Dan is suggesting, based on the people because he speaks to, he's the high profile, high maintenance YouTuber. Okay, he talks to the big celebrity or the people in the know. Okay, um, I haven't seen him yet with voice actors though. I don't know if I've seen him with Alan Oppenheimer or anything like that, but he talks to the people behind the scenes. Okay, and so he's kind of like he's just trying to like okay, be the guy that breaks the bread and say, okay, you could pay up to 40, maybe 60 for each figure. Okay. So it's basically like you're buying the Staction figures, but they're actually action figures. So Mattel is allowing this to happen. They're allowing slight competitors. I would say second party, right? Not owned by Mattel, but they're allowing other people to make whatever figures. Okay, maybe they'll make the 2021. Maybe not. Maybe they don't give a shit. But either way, here we have coming up this year, I think. Later this year, what we're going to see are what? Three figures, two heroes, one villain, two villains, one hero. But they definitely want to get He-Man out there. They're trying to do a He-Man King Grayskull variant, Keldor Skeletor variant, Evil Lynn without the helmet, with the helmet, the way she looked before when she met Keldor. I guess when she had that little crown back in her backstory. Who knows? There's different versions. Okay, you can have Cronus and Trapjaw, different things because they can do that, right? Because with the 2000X, you go back through the lore. Now, what I learned as I watched this video was that Mattel made too many versions of He-Man and Skeletor, which I do agree. Okay, as far as I know, there have been about three, maybe four variants of He-Man and Skeletor. If you go back to Battle Armor He-Man Skeletor, Thunder Punch He-Man, Dragon Blaster Skeletor, Flying Fist He-Man, Terror Claw Skeletor. And then there was a Laser Light He-Man and a Laser Light Skeletor, I think. And that was before the space stuff, right? So we're going back to the third version of He-Man, after Space He-Man, after original He-Man, to try to see if you can squeeze more life out of it. I also think you can squeeze more life out of the Space He-Man stuff too if you make the figures look good enough. If you make them look good, you could go back to the space era and make that look cool. You could do anything. Space era, 2002 He-Man, classics, or even the 2021. We'll skip Revelation for now. So we'll definitely skip Princesses of Power. Somebody will want that, I'm sure. But it's worth a try, I guess. There must be an audience for it. I know that Melendi Britt wasn't a fan of that stuff. Yeah, very cringe. What is it? What is it? Was it the redheaded guy says Mermista? Right. Anyway, I'm rambling on. But I'm thinking about the Mondo figures. I'm kind of like on edge about it. Now, the play set the final price for the Snake Slayer will be announced, I think, on Monday. I will tell you what I'm going to do. Most likely, I probably won't buy it. Now, people have said on Reddit that if it costs 300 plus, I agree. 300 plus is too much. I think that's the breaking point. If you charge 249, right? 249, not including tax, not including shipping, so that the whole thing comes out to $300, that might be okay. That might be okay. If you charge under, then I would definitely have to go back on my word. But if you charge over 300 and you're trying to reach for a high price, then fuck you. Then you're trying to gamble too hard. But anyway, going back to the He-Man and Skeletor variants back in the 2000X line, I had always believed. Now, maybe Val Staples gaslit us. I don't think he did because, corporations be corporations. We had believed, a lot of us believed, even when we went to He-Man.org, that because the cartoon failed, they stopped the toys. And then they stopped the comic books. And they didn't want Val Staples to create his own characters. So somehow Illumina got in. She got in there. She got in through the cracks. Okay, Illumina, the ancient Gar, a warrior of her people in the Dark Hemisphere with her white cat. Illumina got in there. Val Staples helped create her, and Emilio Santaluce, I think, had a hand in it. But that was about it. So, yeah, so because of that, and then on top of insult to injury, stopping the comic book, then they wanted to stop He-Man.org, and Val fought against that. Val fought against Mattel wanting to get He-Man.org. Now, I don't know if this is 100% true, but Val told us it was true, so I had believed it at the time. But it makes more sense the more you think about it, because Mattel wanted to control the narrative that they didn't want Masters of the Universe anymore, since Val Staples was technically sort of an employee of the IP, that they could shut down his website. That makes sense to me. So for years I thought this. So now what Dan is saying, Dan says at the end of his video, but basically that because you had too many variants of He-Man and Skeletor is why it didn't work out. Yeah, he talks about Emiliano Santalucia, which I have about every comic book. I don't have all the variant covers, but I have every comic book from the series, and really good stuff. And if you can find those issues on eBay, great, go to it. But yeah, I have all those issues. I have some of the ones from last decade, the DC Comics, and I have the art book for the new cartoon, and the crossover with Injustice. Where's my? Yeah, I have the Injustice crossover. But like the story's good. I like the stories. The newer stories I don't care too much for, but they're there. They'll add something to the lore. But they've been changing the lore a little bit, like with Lady Slither and stuff. So it's hard to keep an eye on what they're doing, because the lore that they're writing in the back of the boxes or whatever doesn't match the lore that we saw from the encyclopedia. So it's changing. The lore is changing. The good journeys are changing. So I'll keep an eye on what Mondo is doing. I'll keep an eye on the new playset. I'll see what they're going to charge. If they charge a PlayStation 4's price or a PlayStation 5's price, fuck you, you're done. There's Ghostbusters. Yeah, I'm just like, I'm past this point now. I'm way past it. So let's see what happens. I may end up just saving my money for an airplane trip. And that's it. I mean, like, exploring for me is more fun than just getting another playset. You know what I mean? Like, I just feel it in my soul that I need to go out and do something than just to get another playset. And the playset's cool. Okay, I'm one of those few people that defends the playset, but I'm not going to defend a heavy price. So I'm sort of in between. I'm not going to be a company shill. That's what I said. When I said that, I'm not going to be a company shill. I'm willing to buy, if I see Modulok at the swap meets, or if I see Modulok or some other figure on eBay that's been there for years, I'll pick that up. After that, I don't give a shit. Mattel's made their money off those figures, so somebody else sells it. That's it. Not going to Amazon, not going to the stores. So I even resisted picking up any of the Masters. There was a Lord Grasp, but Stratos is in the wrong figure in wrong box. So I didn't see Lord Grasp. just like I showed you the Jon Stewart stuff. All right, more videos to come tonight. Stay tuned for all that.